Fantastic. Well, we're going to start off with making sure that we understand a lot of the technical pieces that we need to have as we move into this and answer the question, well, why do I really need to have a marketing plan of action, or well, basically, how do we get to $1 million? Right? How do we create an amazing marketing system that gets us to $1 million? So let's start out with talking a little bit first about why it works. Okay. So when we talk about mail marketing and we talk about mind share, basically what we're looking at is we know that the market is oversaturated. Here in the area that I'm a real estate agent and my team is a real estate agents are in, we have 19,682 real estate professionals as of yesterday. Okay, so that's how many people are in the front range of the Denver area that have a license to sell real estate. So that's a lot of saturation. You have people that are trying to take over certain neighborhoods, certain markets. And what we're really trying to do is we're trying to win the mind share of our clients and then win the mind share of a targeted group that we want to eventually become clients, have eventually become clients. So what we know is that 76% of all sellers contact only one agent when they're making the decision on who they should choose in selling their home. And then 59% of all buyers only interview one agent. So people that are looking to buy only interview one agent when we're looking at that. So if you think about that, how do you become that person? And that's what we're going to make sure that we are today. Because a lot of us think that, hey, well, our network and our friends already know who we are and they're going to utilize us. It's not the case. We've got to make sure that we're winning that mind share. So how it all works, what we're looking for is consistent prospecting, okay, number one, and targeted marketing to the same two groups. And Anna, you know what we didn't do is we didn't do introductions. So just quickly, I apologize if you're new to this webinar series. I am Brendan Bartic. We got so excited because we have so much information. We wanted to jump into it. So yeah, sorry about that. Just real quick. So yeah, I'm Brendan Bartic with Brendan Bartic Real Estate Coaching, where our mission is to train the most elite real estate agents and coaches on earth. Again, Anna is my cohort and co-host and business partner here. And basically, I've done it all. I've been an assistant. I've been on a team. I've started a team. I own a brokerage. I own a title company, real estate coaching company. I should be a great resource for anyone. I'm $1 million agent, meaning that we built a net $1 million business. So I know that this system works. I coach agents across the country that are doing, hundreds and hundreds of transactions following this same system. So this isn't theory. This isn't like, hey, this is kind of what you should be doing. This is going to be a simple A plus B equals C. And here's what you do, and here's what you need to do to make sure that you have a lasting, successful $1 million real estate business. So with that being said, we'll head back, but I just wanted to make sure they knew who we are, Anna. So I apologize for that. I just got a little excited there. So now we're talking about consistent marketing, targeting the same two groups, Mets and haven't Mets. And this is the question that I get all the time that so many people have. They really want to have it defined as what's a Met and what's a haven't Met. And we're going to go through all of that and how you can design your entire business around just these two groups. Okay. And if you really understand how to market to both of them, you're going to have massive, massive success. All right. So let's start first with our Met database. Okay. So when we mean Met, that's just a word that we put on it. You could call it your network database. You could just call it your database. You can call it whatever you want, but we use the word Met, M-E-T. And when we're talking about Met, this means that in this bucket, so imagine you had two buckets, a very small bucket that you spend a lot of time and effort and money on, and then a bigger bucket that you put a lot of other people in that you're targeting that you hope to get them into the smaller bucket at some point. And that's really the whole system. It's not the whole system. That's really the general idea of the entire system, but there's a lot that goes into this. So when we're looking at the Met database, to define this as crystal clear as you can possibly be, this is someone that you believe will do business with you, that would refer business to you, that you're going to put into your 33 touch or more program, which we're going to break down for you exactly how to do that today, you would be willing to spend $33 or more marketing to that individual person every year for the rest of their life. Well, until something else maybe happens with them, they move out of state or do something different, but until the course that you no longer feel that the first two things would be possible. So let's talk about who that is, right, for a second, and who that would look like. So the question I get all the time is, so Brendan, if I meet somebody at an open house, okay, and I meet them, Brendan, and they go, you know what, we're just browsing, we're looking, they sign in on my sheet. Yeah, we're not even in the market for a house right now, but thanks for having us at your open house, and leave. Well, is that a Met? And the answer is, it depends on what you want to believe is your Met line. For me, that would not be a Met, because I truly don't believe that they're going to buy or sell from me or refer real estate business to me. I haven't earned that relationship from them yet, or I haven't earned that trust from them yet. So for me, that would not be a Met, right? So a Met for me would be if I had that conversation and they said, Brendan, oh my gosh, thanks for meeting us at the open house. We just have to get a few credit things done, and then we're going to be ready to rock and roll in 6 months. And yeah, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't want to utilize you as our agent. You seem like a swell guy with a great haircut, right? And I'd be like, great, perfect, right? So I'd be like, oh, they love me. So now that person, I'm going to completely nurture in a much different way than somebody that's just a casual person going, hey, I came into your open house, but I'm not really interested. So I just want to make sure that we define that. Now, people that if I was starting out real estate day one today, or 6 months in, or a year in, or actually probably any time, I would first start out focusing 100% on who I know first. All right. So we'll also attach a form here, or we'll send it out afterwards. It's kind of an idea of everyone that you may or may not think is in your, I call it the network, right? Your network, everyone that's in your network. So this is your hairstylist, obviously mine's awesome. Your mechanic, your lawyer, your CPA, your Uncle Joe, your cousin, Susie, all of these people, you first want to start with them. And because hopefully they would want to buy or sell with you, or at least refer you business, right? And you'd want to start building that system around them. Take care of the people that know you the best, that are going to become advocates for you and ambassadors. And then we're going to talk about what process they should be on. But Brendan, my cousin Joey is broke as a joke. He just got out of rehab. He's probably going to go to jail soon. Is that a Met? If you think he would refer business to you in or outside of prison, then yes, right? If you truly believe that he's an advocate and he would refer business to you, I would market to him, because just because he's broke doesn't mean that he doesn't know people that might be interested in buying or selling real estate. So I think we get caught up a lot of times with people being very specific on, if they're not looking to buy right now this second, then I just drop them from my list. And that's not the case. That's in no way or format the case. This is, again, would they buy or sell, refer business to me that I'm willing to bet on spending 33 bucks a year to? Okay? So just make sure that you're crystal clear on that. Then we're going to talk about, can you mute that in? And then we'll talk about the haven't met bucket, which is also going to bring us through talking about how to take care of the other people to make sure that they're automated in your system. So when they are ready to do something, and you're going to be signified to take them on. All right.
Now, Brendan, I've got a question on this. So what if I receive an internet lead? Are they considered a Met if I sort of virtually meet them?
Again, beautiful question. So are they defined as a Met if I met them, or if they were an internet lead and I had a great conversation with them? The answer would still be the same. In your heart of hearts, do you believe that they would buy or sell from you ever in the future? And do you feel that they would possibly refer business to you? And do you feel that it would be worth your time, energy, and money to spend $33 a year on them and set them up in your 33 touch program, which we're going to teach you a very simple way of doing that today? So again, great questions. It's just, you got to be very clear on making sure that you understand what that line is. Okay.
And once they become a Met, are they always a Met, or is there a process of me deciding who's a Met on like a monthly basis?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. No, so you're going to do a monthly audit of this database, and basically you're going to be auditing it as once we explain the system to you, you're going to be talking to these people 4 times a year on a true Met, right? So part of the 33 touches is 4 phone calls, one every 90 days. So let's say that I call up and you were a Met yesterday. I do my quarterly call with you and I talk to you and you're like, oh, Anna, everything, and you go, but Brendan, we ended up moving to North Dakota. Yeah, we didn't have any family or anyone in Colorado. All our family's back in North Dakota. So yeah, we decided to go back there. And we already bought a home through someone else there because it was left to us. And we don't have a house here and we don't plan on buying any more here. Well, then I would go, boy, that seems like it's a very low chance that I'm going to ever receive a referral from them. Is it worth me spending $33 or more? And we'll go into the reason why it's $33. We just use $33 as a tag to say, you're going to do 33 touches at $1 a touch. Believe me, that's not the case. We're going to show you how to do real cheap touches and how to do all kinds of different things. But it just hopefully makes you realize, is it worth $33 per person a year to take that risk? That's the question you have to really answer. So these are great questions that I get quite a bit. It's just the line is your line. It's not a black and white line. It's if you have a huge budget and you want to market to everyone that you think is real sketchy, that's your call to do. I wouldn't do that because I'd want to utilize my marketing dollars for smarter things. So this is all about leveraging your budget, and we're going to talk about what marketing budget you should have.
Let me go ahead and do that. I'm just going to go ahead and forward the same email that I sent over to Anne Marie yesterday, and then that way I just forward it over. And
can you mute that person, please? There we go. So yeah, if you're not on mute by now, please do so because it obviously affects all of us. So great. So let's move on. And some of these questions we may end up answering as we go, but feel free to completely raise your hand. Those are great questions. And Anna, stop me at any time. All right. So I just want to make sure, any other questions on what is a Met? Cool. All right. We'll go on then. All right. Excellent. So now, once I meet a possible Met, the way that I'm going to process them is, first of all, I've got to win their mind share. And the way that I do this is I brand me, my image, my real estate professional image into their brain for 8 weeks in a row. And we call this an 8x8. So let's go back to the open house. Anna, you walk into an open house. I feel that you are going to buy or sell real estate with me or refer me business, and then I'm going to do this whole process with you. The first step of that process is very intensive, 8 weeks in a row, 8 specific touches that I'm going to utilize. Because, and again, I didn't make up the 8. This was all scientifically tested. Major companies like Coca-Cola, Geico Insurance, they went into this exact program of it takes 8 weeks to burn yourself into somebody's brain to make sure that you separate yourself from the rest of the pack. So if I met somebody at an open house and just started marketing to them once a month, 12 times a year, after that open house, unless they were ready to buy right then, I might they'd be like, who is that? Oh, that guy that looks like a model with no hair. Yeah, I kind of remember him. Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. Right. But they might forget. Instead, right, if you're branding yourself in front of them for 8 weeks in a row, it puts you number one in their mind share. It gives you the best opportunity to make sure you meet all of their initial needs. And you never know, whatever they told you in that open house could be completely different in 5 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah, we're going to wait 6 months. And the next thing you know, you call them up in a month and they go, oh, we ended up buying new construction 2 weeks ago because after we left your open house, we realized that we hated old houses and we wanted to go look at new construction, and you want to punch yourself in the face. Okay. So the 8x8 is critical. So here's what our hand 8x8 looks like. Okay. And we're going to have this as an attachment for you as well, but it starts very simple. Every single week, 8-1, if I meet you in a person, or if I feel, even your question was on an internet lead, if I feel it's strong enough, I'm going to scout out and stalk your home address, whatever way possible, if I'm not able to get it from you on the phone. So week 1, handwritten note, always handwritten note. And I really want to drive home the principle of the handwritten note. The cheaper the note, the cheaper the quality of person they think you are. Let me just be very clear, right? Everything is being measured on this first impression. So people go, but Brendan, I have terrible handwriting. Then pay somebody to write the card. But Brendan, but this, figure it out, right? I have the handwriting of a 4-year-old, right? So I had to slow down, and it takes me about 4 or 5 minutes to write one note card because it's literally that sad to watch me do it. I have to Google words because I can't spell, because spell check ruined my life because it took away everything that I had to think about. So I literally take a long time, but is it worth 8 minutes to write 2 note cards to make $15,000, $20,000, $30,000? The answer is yes. So the quality of your card is, again, the texture, the envelope, the color of the envelope. All of these things matter. Don't take for a second don't take anything for granted that none of these little pieces add up to be a big, big difference. The better first impression you make, the better off you're going to be. Your business card is a first impression. For several years, I had metal business cards. Yep, I was that guy. I was the douchebag with metal business cards, right? People loved them. It was the craziest thing. They would grab that business card and be like, "Oh, you must be successful." I was like, "Nope, just a douchebag. Just who I am, right? But they go, "Wow, if he has that card, he must probably do some business." And they were expensive. They were 25 cents a card, right? 25 cents a card. But I felt that the impression was worth it. Okay.
I think that also goes to the quality of the print stock, right?
Mhm.
I've certainly made mistakes in the past where I thought, you know what, I can save $5, $10, $25. And then those postcards or those mailers come in and they're flimsy, they get ripped, they look ugly by the time they arrive. And I think to myself, that extra $25 for the thick card stock would have been worth it, because how many pieces did someone pick up and go, that's a nice idea, but it looks crappy. And
Yep.
then they associate that with me, my company. And so, yeah, to your point, it's worth the extra 5, 10, $25 to get the higher quality card stock as well.
Yeah, great point, Anna. Image, 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 image. Now, on the business cards, the other question I get quite a bit, should I have my picture on my business card or not? That depends if you're good looking or not. If you're not a great looking person, do not put your face on a business card. That's okay, right? And if you don't know if you are or not, just email me. I will let you know. Just kidding, right? But seriously, all joking aside, it's all image. If you don't have work what works, work what you've got, right? If you're great looking and all that, then great. Have your picture on there. It'll do you well. If not, just be smart and have a nice, beautiful logo. Your logo is your image, right? So just think about those things. Every single thing is being measured and everything is being judged. I hate to say that, but that's the world we live in. So week 2 market report, week 3 direct mail, phone call, social media, homeowner tip, direct mail, phone call. These are our 8. You can make your 8 whatever you want, right? If you wanted to do 8 pieces of mail, you could. If you wanted to do no mail, you could. We feel that the combination of every little piece, though, is valuable. We want to hit them on all angles, okay? So feel free to use that, customize it yourself, and then here's a pro tip. Start small. Start with a 2x2 until you've just got it nailed. You do the 2 same things for every person you meet that you feel would be in your Met database every single time until you know you've got that nailed down. Don't try to do all 8 day one. You'll literally lose your mind of trying to figure out how to organize it and track it, which I'll explain here too. And we also teach in our Elite Progression Series courses and things like that. But that's the big piece is there's start small and build up, right? Let's start small and build up. So, all right. So now let's talk about, they've made it through the 8 weeks. So now they go into week 9. And just imagine if you were doing this in your email, you could have 8 folders labeled 8 by 8 week 1, 8 by 8 week 2, 8, 3, 3, so on and so forth. And then at the bottom folder, you would have 33 touch client for life bucket or system. I call it system, right? So 33 touch client for life system. So every week they're getting kind of waterfalling down into this process. You could do it in that way. You could do it in a manila folders, and you could have 8 weeks with 3x5 cards with each person as they progress with what you need to do. And then when they get to the final folder, they stay in that folder for the rest of their life, unless When you do your audit, they tell you to go, they've used another realtor, they've moved out of state, you've downgraded them from someone that you feel would do business with, that would do business with you or refer your business. All right. This is critical. Of everyone that I work with, the top producing agents across the country are doing this system at the highest level. They're not worried about 50 million internet leads. They're not worried about billboards. They're not worried about bus benches. They're worried about taking care of the people that they meet. And then the rest of their time is spent around, how do I meet good people? And then once I get them into my beautiful magic bowl of 33 touch, how do I improve that system so that I get more referrals, more sales, and help these people purchase multiple properties over time through investing in real estate and building wealth through real estate? Okay. We have clients in our 33 touch system who have bought and or sold 10 plus properties with us. That's what you really are looking for. We have people that have only done one, and we have people that have done zero, and everywhere in between, that I still think they're going to give me somebody, right? She loves me. She's on my website all the time. Never has bought a single thing or referred me anybody, but I'm willing to take that bet that she's going to at some point. And you're not always going to be right. Okay. You're just not always going to be right. So 33 touches, what you want is 12 direct mailers. Okay. We're going to talk about those today. 12 monthly market reports. When I say a monthly market report, you can set this up through your MLS. You can use a company that we use, which is called Altos Research, which sends out amazing market reports. If you are a part of a larger company or a boutique company, usually their website systems have market reports, home snaps, market snaps, all these different things. Top Producer does it. Our Real Geek system that we utilize also produces these. But 12 monthly market reports. Okay. Now, here's the question I get, Anna. Well, if they're my clients, I'm going to send them a market report. What if they don't own a home, or if they own a home or do not own a home? If they own a home, I set them up on a report where they're receiving active homes in their neighborhood that are listed $100,000 above them and $100,000 below them, with their name in the subject line. So, Susie, your active competition in your neighborhood, $100,000 above, $100,000 below, or you don't even have to put the 100,000. You can just say, Susie, active homes that are for sale in your neighborhood. I want my clients to see this once a month. You can set this up in MLS. I do it through my own website because I want the search engine optimization, but they love that. People love seeing what's happening in their neighborhood and what new listings have come on the market. And then it'll spur them to be like, oh, really? 123 Elm Street just listed for $550? Well, then we could easily get $550, right? And so they think about this, and then they reach out to you and they go, Brendan, really $550? Like, you think we could get $550 right now? I'd love to come over and talk about it. All right. So just make sure we're real clear on the market reports. And then what I call the equalizer, the 4 phone calls. So 1 phone call every 90 days. And this is where even the best agents in the country falter, right? Is making that and making sure it's systemized. And you have to have a very good CRM to coordinate all of this as you get into 200, 300, 400, 500, right? You have a database of 500 people. How many phone calls do you have to make per week to just touch the people in your 500 person database, right? It's like 4 a day. So you've got to be thinking about, how am I going to clear those things? And these are longer conversations that could be 15 to 20 minutes. Now, when you're at 500 in your Met database, you're making well over $1 million. So you'll be happy to make those calls, right? All day long. And then this is the other piece, 5 personal touches. 5 personal touches. This is the biggest one that we also need to make sure that we are focused on, because when we talk about 5 personal touches, this is how people fall in love with you. All right. So a personal touch would be a birthday card, a Father's Day, Mother's Day, Veterans Day. I love Tacos Day. If you know they love tacos, send them a card every taco day. If I got a card saying, Brennan, it's taco day, let's, how fun is this? And I'd be like, oh my God, she knows I love tacos that much. You just deepen the relationship with me, right? That's what you want to do. We want to deepen the relationship. Remember, We're dating every client in our database with the hopes of marriage at some point. Would you send flowers to somebody you were wanting to date? Right? You know, all of those things. And then once you get married, you don't have to do any of that. Just kidding. No, right? But but then after you get married, you have to do it even more. Otherwise they cry all the time, right? So you've got to take care of that database and you've got to continue to do it. So it's very important that we nurture it the same way. You want to be in relationships with all of these people. And do we have some questions?
Yeah, we've got a couple. So talk to me about the return on investment of those monthly market reports. Do you email them or do you print and mail them? Combination of both? How do you decide?
Yeah, excellent question, Anna. So yeah, ours are automated and they're via email. So they're super easy. They go out all the time, just boom, 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 boom. If you want to add this as part of your 33 touches, you could do a printed out one for each person. The challenge we had for that, and when you do that, is everybody lives in a different area. So it's really hard to do when you have 200 people in your database to do an individual market report mailer for everybody that's in a different neighborhood and or zip code. The digital makes it a lot easier. So the digital works great. Again, pro tip, once a month, never more than once a month. I see people put people on market reports for like once a week or once a day, and then your clients gets, your database gets super annoyed with you and then unsubscribes. You don't want them to unsubscribe. You just want to be a monthly resource that says, hey, here you go. Here's what's happening in your hood, right? That's the end all of it. So that's a great question. Then the other reason we use Altos reports is we really like the look of them and we use them for our CMAs. So it's a dual purpose. We print them out when we go on listing presentations because we start with an overview of the overall market and then we go right into their neighborhood. And I leverage those market reports to help make sure the sellers understand why they should be doing something now or not now or wherever they should be positioned in the market. So we get dual purpose out of it. The third piece, and I'm not trying to toot Altos, you can share those reports on your social media. And when you share them on your social media, you can be like, great, here's the latest market report for XYZ city. If you'd like a specific market report on your town, please click here, or your city or zip codes, click here. They click on it, they'll register, and it also creates leads for you. So there's a lot of purposes here. Yeah, if it was just market reports to my clients, I don't know if I'd probably do it or not. I think Altos are $70 a month, something like that. Most title companies will give you the reports for free, but then of course they want your client's data and they'll mail it out for you. I don't like that situation that much, but so there's a lot of free ways to do things first. If I was broke as a joke and I'm like, look, I'm just trying to make my car payment, and I was there with you, right? Like I was there. I was like, oh boy, this is not looking good. Then I would do it through the MLS because I'm paying for it anyway, if I didn't have a website. And by market report, you're just sending them the latest actives, pendings, and closed in their area. You can set up an automated search through your local MLS, and they're getting this monthly. And it doesn't cost you anything more. And most of you are going to have the MLS to set showings and do CMAs, I hope. So hopefully that helps. Anything else, Anna?
Yeah, so just two other questions. Let's jump into that phone call. So can you give an example of, in those quarterly calls, what I would be talking about with my database when I call?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. And so Anna knows this. We teach an amazing series called our Elite Progression series, where we go through and talk about all of these steps. We also have a YouTube video called 10-25-90. And I'll give you some quick ones here just to give you kind of a teaser. So 10-25-90 means every 10th of the month, I do a giveaway. Every 25th, I do a business spotlight. I feature somebody on a business spotlight in my database. And every 90 days, I do a client appreciation event. Now, so that's 10-25-90, the combination to your success. Ooh, ayo. So 10-25-90, right? So on the 10th, every 10th, if we're doing a giveaway, you could give away a Starbucks gift card for $50. So it gives you a quick way to call and go, hey, look, I'm doing this really cool giveaway tomorrow. You can win $50. John, I just wanted to give you a quick call. If you can call in from the hours of 12 to 6, that would be awesome. And tell anybody else you know about it. It would be great. And by the way, John, you're still living there in Highlands Ranch, right? Oh, yeah. Well, John, I have tons of buyers for Highlands Ranch right now. If you were to move, where would you guys go next? Bop, 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 conversation leads to wherever it is, okay? then I also can call up with the business spotlight option. Hey, John, every single month I feature somebody amazing in our business spotlight. I blast it on all my social media. I really want to drive business to the people that I love. So John, I know that you're an accountant. I would love to feature you in my business spotlight. I'm booked for the next 2 months, but could you do be our May spotlight? All it is a 3 to 5 minute interview. It's just me talking to you about certain things. And then I post it on all my social media, and I guarantee you we'll get business your way. Okay, that's another option. If they don't have a business, let's say they do something weird. They're in, I could have so many jokes there, but they're in a weird industry that you don't maybe want to necessarily associate too publicly. You could always also ask them, John, you know what? I really want to be in business with amazing people like yourself. Who's some of the top businesses that you know that I should know? Oh, well, Brendan, you know, my lawyer's phenomenal, right? He just got me out of this huge divorce, didn't have to pay anything. It was great, right? Oh, okay, great. So would you mind if I called him and said that I should know him and talk to him for a second? No, let him know that I told him he was amazing. And now you're growing your network. So it goes one by one. And then the 90-day client event, again, in COVID, this is a little bit restricted. So you can do book clubs, you can do wine tastings, you can do all via Zoom. You can do, if it's not Zoom, don't think about a big client appreciation party, go smaller and just have lunch with your ambassadors. Ambassadors meaning the 5 to 10 people that you know love you more than anyone else. Go deeper with them every 90 days and make sure you're having dinner, coffee, barbecue, bar mitzvah, birthday, whatever it is, that you're doing something with them. COVID safe, of course. Does that help? Then if all else fails and you don't know what to call about, go on your MLS, go and figure out what the lowest price per square foot property is that's currently available on your MLS that day. Call up your clients and go, look, I found this dumpster property that I think has a lot of flip potential. It's one of the lowest price per square foots in Lakewood. John, I just wanted to call because I was thinking about you and you wanting to build wealth through real estate. You have any interest in possibly buying your first fix and flip or buy and hold property to build wealth through real estate? What are they going to say? No, I want to continue being broke and living check to check. I mean, they might, but right? But it's a powerful question. And then the last of those are 4. Then the very last one is just come from value. Just call up and say, hey, look, John, I'm looking to produce or to provide some of my time to a charity, either financially or my actual physical time. I was calling to my clients to see if they, knew of anything that I should know about that I could get involved in. Are you a part of any local charities that I should know about? What are they going to say? No, man, I don't. All right. Well, I appreciate it. If anything comes to mind or you hear anything good that I should know about, let me know. Oh, and by the way, John, I got you real here quick. Yeah, you guys are still there in Highlands Ranch. Yeah. And then you go back into the script. Every 90 days, I'm checking on status and update. I don't always ask them if they're going to move if I just talked to them 90 days ago, but I always check in and I go, look, every single 90 days, the market is going nuts. Just wanted to check. I know you told me a couple months ago that you guys are staying put. But man, I've got buyers. This last house just had 42 offers on it. If you guys were to move, where would you go next? Okay. So excellent questions. All right, let's jump back. So back to the 5 personal touches. How do you get their information? Well, this is where you have to put on your creepy stalker glasses and go hard on the stalking, right? So you're going to check out their social media. You're going to follow them. You're going to find out the things they comment. If they love XYZ political party, cool. If they love certain things, cool. You're going to build a profile on every single person. So I used to be, I'll tell you just a brief story. I used to be a manager at Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company, right? And our motto was ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen, and taught me a lot of amazing things. One of the biggest things that the Ritz-Carlton does is they keep a card on file for every single guest that comes there. And behind the scenes, every person in that hotel is filling out these little tidbits of information that we find out about the guest. So let's say that I used to be a cabana boy when I first started at the Ritz. So just imagine that image. So I set up umbrellas and things, all this. If I found out when I was down there setting up Mrs. Swanson's cabana that, that she loves XYZ, let's say, for example, she was like, you know what? Oh my gosh, this is so great. Our room is just beautiful. But you know what? I really love chocolate covered strawberries. I had one in your lobby. I thought it was amazing. Ooh, she loves chocolate covered strawberries. The next time I fill out that card, turn it in to the front desk, they put it in the system. Guess what's going to be in her room when she arrives next time? Because it's going to make that experience that much more personal to her. And that's the difference of a Motel 6 versus a Ritz-Carlton or a Four Seasons. It's not that the linen counts 500% better or whatever. It's not that the pool doesn't smell like pee. It's really the personal touch that's the major difference. And all these companies are fighting to get data. So you need to be doing the same thing. It's a data game, okay? So the big one and the low-hanging fruit, birthday. You should be able to sort that out through Facebook very quickly. You can be able to figure that out. If you can't figure out 4 other personal touches, then do 4 handwritten note cards and just go there. Handwritten note card. Hey, John, you know what? I was just thinking about you. Hope you and the family are doing great with all this COVID stuff. Hope you're getting the vaccination. Just wanted to let you know I was thinking about you. Not the note card that most of you are thinking. Hey, it's Susie. I'm looking for referrals, and I was just curious if you know of anyone looking to buy or sell real estate. Hopefully you're thinking of me. Come on, right? Like, do we want to hear that? No. I don't want marketing material that's really trying to push the fact that I need business. I want people to know that I think about them and care about them. Okay, cool. All right. Now, let's talk about the money. Money, right? So when we look at the cost of success, marketing only to your Met database, we know it's a 2 to 12 ratio or 12 to 2 ratio, meaning that for every 12 in your database, you should produce 2 sales. Well, Brendan, why not one, why not a 6 to 1? Well, because the reason the 12 to 2 is you should get one person that wants to buy or sell and one person that will give you a referral. Okay, so that's why we use the 12 to 2. If it's easier for your brain, use 6 to 1. Same thing, completely get it. All right, so when we look at contacting them 33 times a year, we know that it's going to generate 2 sales for every 12 people, 1 repeat sale, 1 referral. So to do 160 closed sales, and I'll give you the reason why 160 closed sales is important. 160 closed sales is how you become a net millionaire, not a revenue millionaire. A net millionaire is 160 closed sales at an average sales price of $500,000. That's why we use the 160 number, because I want everybody to be a net millionaire, okay? So 160 closed sales at $500,000 average sales price. So if your average sales price was $250,000, double that number. If your average sales price is $1 million, cut it in half. And I also hate you, right? But, right, so just think about those things. Now, so 33 touches at $1 a touch, just an estimate. That's not going to be the actual cost, but just to make sure you're safe. So $1 per touch, 960 touches times 33 touches a year at $1 is $31,000 a year to make 1 million net dollars, okay? To take care of everybody in that system. You would need to have 960 Mets. If you did no other marketing, haven't Mets, nothing else, if you did nothing else, just Mets alone, you would need 960 people in your database to generate 160 closed sales. All right? So that's the math behind that. Now, what everybody loves, right? Let's talk about cute ideas on what you can do for your mailers. Okay, we'll also send this out afterwards. And just so you know, we do all of this stuff. It changes year after year. There's no set plan. Well, there's a set plan for the year. And we go, boy, that really worked last year. We're doing that again. And we'll show you one of our mailers that we know worked for March. We test things. There's certain things that we failed on. I still have boxes of ice cream scoops in my office, because we thought ice cream, it was get the scoop on the summer real estate market, and it was an ice cream scoop. I hate ice cream scoops. You can't mail them. They don't fit in the damn packaging right. You're gonna fail. You're gonna fail some of these. We sent them out, and people, it was requiring postage when they received it. They was like, here's our ice cream scoop. Yo, it's $2, right? We've had failures along the way. There's nothing that's perfect in these systems. So just know that that's okay. Some of it's not gonna hit the way you want it to. My best tip, ask a bunch of people if you think it's stupid or not, right? You are not that cool. You are not that creative. I can tell you that, right? I am not. No one is. Get 3rd, 4th, 5th opinions on it. Cool? All right, so here we go for the first couple of months, some ideas there. So evidence of success, daylight savings, baseball schedule, St. Patrick's Day stuff, mommies and mimosas in May, all that great stuff. Then we go into July, August, September, and then to the fall months. These are just ideas. right? I know people that crush it with doing pumpkin deliveries during Thanksgiving and Halloween. There's people that have their pies, right? They'll do pumpkin pies during. You can kind of have your once a year signature move, if you will, right? You're like, oh, they know me for my pies or my 4th of July flags, or they know me for whatever it is. Sure, have your once a year thing that you know they just love, but the rest of it, we still have to make sure we're hitting them 12 times a year. All right. So this image always makes me drive home the thought, I really want to make sure everyone understands this, that most agents that we know are out there panning for gold. And what I mean by that is you don't have this systematized enough. So what you're doing is you're out there and you're going, all right, I'm going to try this, shake it around, see if it works. Maybe a little gold nugget or a little flicker of a piece of gold will come to the surface, instead of having a huge gold mining machine, right? And what I mean by that machine is, again, a CRM, a system. I don't care if it's a CRM, a file folder system, 3x5 note cards, but all the top agents follow a very specific system, but they all do very similar to this, if not exactly this. I know some agents that I coach do 65 touches minimum to their Mets. I know people that are doing more than that, but I don't know anyone that's making big money that's doing less than 33. Okay. And by big money, I mean a net millionaire or more. Okay. So again, one pan can process 1 scoop of dirt. The machine can process 450 tons. Think about your machine. Do you have a machine? And yes, is it going to take some time to set the machine up? Anything worth having does. And is the machine going to break down? All the time. Are you going to cry? For sure. Right? There will be cry time. There will be, you'll light money on fire sometimes because you screwed up the postage. It's just going to happen. Don't let it deter you. Go learn from that. Going to get better, smarter, faster. Okay. Let's talk about our haven't met database. So now we've talked about how to take care of the people in the small pond, right? Shining up the dirt and making sure those are diamonds. Let's talk about the bulk of the dirt, right? We got a bunch of just dirt. Okay. That's the haven't met database. So who belongs in the haven't met database? This is a targeted group that you're targeting on who you want to eventually become a Met. So think about it in this aspect. You're looking at the ring here, right? When you see this ring, on this outside of the ring is the entire world, right? So around this ring here to the bottom left. Inside this ring, you have a targeted group. So a targeted group would be a neighborhood, right? So X amount, 500 doors in XYZ neighborhood. A targeted group could be expireds, for sale by owners, estate sales, divorce attorneys. A targeted group could be, where do the old people go? Those homes, extended living, or what is it called?
Yeah,
assisted living. That's right. Where you go, yeah. So assisted living facilities are a great targeted group if I'm going to target someone where I want to get business from, right? So we do a whole nother class on top 20 listing sources and buyer sources and targeted groups and all this stuff. Again, you're going to want to target a group, okay? Then as you move into the inner circle, then they cross over the line once they raise their hand and show some sort of interest that you believe they should be in your 33 touch and be a Met. Then they get into this real deep circle here in the very middle, and those are called ambassadors or core advocates. These are the top 5 or 10 people that are just amazing that you want to love on more than anyone else. They get the VIP treatment every year. So they get bottles of wine delivered to them if they drink. They get, the actual Christmas present, not just your Christmas card of you and your goofy kids at Disney World, right? So they get the whole shebang, all right? So then on the haven't met database, in establishing a target group, the question I get all the time is how many and who? And let me be very, very clear on this point. Don't start messing with haven't mets until your Met database is perfect. This is I literally, if I could tattoo that on your forehead for this webinar, that's the thing you want to remember. Don't worry about having Mets until you have an amazing 33 touch system for everyone in your Met work. But Brendan, I just moved here from Arkansas. I don't know anybody. Okay, that's not true. You know people here already. And if you don't, you need to be hosting 3 to 5 open houses a week. You need to be going on meetup groups. You need to be on Tinder, Bumble, doing all that stuff. Old ring comes off, you're on Bumble, you're working it, right? You got to meet people. You got to do this whole dance. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But you got to meet people. And we got to start building up that network as fast as possible. And it's going to suck, right? Go into meetup groups, you're going to meet some weird, whacked out people. But I can tell you from other people, I had my own meetup group, crushed it. There's people that are on my team, kill it. Meetup groups, hiking groups, dog groups, mommy and me groups. There's a group for anything out there. If you like tarantulas, there's a tarantula meetup group. Go look at weird insects and hang out with your homies, right? But you got to get these people and meet them, even if it's via Zoom right now. This is a meet game. That's how it should be, right? So make sure you're clear on building that database first before you start doing anything with the haven't met database. Then when we go to identify our haven't met database, some just quick tips. Again, if I'm identifying a haven't met database, I'm going to go with what I know. All right. So if I'm going for a targeted group, I'm either going to start with a charity, right? Because if I'm involved in a charity, that's going to be a targeted group for me because it's a win-win. If I can provide great service to my charity and in turn be around people that are like-minded and care about the same things I do, then of course marketing to them is going to be beneficial, right? Number one. Number two, if I'm picking a neighborhood, I'm going to look at the turnover rate. I'm going to hopefully live in that neighborhood. And I'm not just going to market a random neighborhood. I'm going to market a neighborhood that I can get entrenched in, meaning that I go to the garage sales, the company or the community picnics. I'm involved in the HOA. I'm involved in that neighborhood and community, right? Does it make sense if I live in XYZ neighborhood and I go, look, I love this neighborhood. I want to live there, but it's gated and I can't really get in and I don't know anybody and I don't play golf and I don't do anything. Let's just hypothetically say, would it make sense for me to market to that neighborhood if I can never really infiltrate it? Probably not. It would be very difficult to really get some traction there. All right. So think about your farm in an aspect of, can I really build this community around it? Now, if you're farming expireds or for sell by owners, then you have to ask the question, how good is my expired game? Am I amazing on the phone? Am I going to be on the phone for the rest of my life every morning at 7:30 a.m. being the first one to hit the expireds? Do I have a campaign that's dedicated just towards expireds, meaning that the mailers are dedicated towards that? So there's all these different groups. It just depends on how you're going to strategize on each of them. But you need to start thinking about the targeted group that you want once you have your 33 touch and met system good. Because what will happen is these people are going to raise their hand and go, Brendan, I keep getting your mailer and that community info you send for XYZ neighborhood. I love it. Hey, we're thinking about selling. We're probably 6 months out, but I just wanted to reach out to you because you obviously know a lot about the neighborhood here. I wanted to start chatting with you about it. Ding, 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 they raise their hand. They now go 8 by 8, boom, 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 and then 33 touches until they either do a deal with me or they tell me to screw off. One of the two is going to happen. So any questions on Mets, haven't Mets, Anna?
Nope, I think we're answering them. I think one of the questions that came out is role play, right? We do role play at noon every Thursday for about 30 minutes, and we kind of really go through the objections and the scripts that everyone needs to be handling. Those are applicable to whether you're working with your Mets or your haven't Mets, right? Because most people have the same objections once you get into a conversation about interest in buying, selling, or investing in real estate.
Yeah, Anna, that's such a fantastic question. Is people go, well, I don't like scripts because that's for cold business. And I don't like scripts because it doesn't sound like me. And I don't go to role play because I know what to say. Well, if that was the case, then everybody would be calling their database. So yes, exactly what Anna said. We practice all of those every Thursday at 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. You can find it in our private Facebook group. If you're not a member of that, please, request to be invited and we'll maybe let you in or not. We'll see. Depends on the questions. No, just kidding. And then you'll know all of those things, or she can put it in the chat box. But to answer that, the best thing about talking to your center of influence is, how can I provide a little bit of value today? I just have to think through, what do? I sell real estate. So can I sell them an investment property? What do? I connect people with other people because I know a lot of people because I'm a real estate agent. So can I feature them as a business spotlight, or at least find out how I can get business their way? Right? That's an easy call. You ever call up anybody and just go, look, John, I was thinking about you the other day and I'm really just, really wanting to build my affiliated network here. What's the perfect client for you? What do you mean, Brendan? Well, like if it was the perfect client, who could I send your way? I just had a conversation with the guy and he goes, I need people that have $10 million or more that are willing to invest in assisted living facilities that want to be angel investors. I go, cool, not a problem. Let me go find that for you, right? I don't know that many people that have that bio, but I'm going to be like, gotcha. Like as soon as I come across them, I'm going to tell them about your assisted living facility. And I will, but I'm just trying to help. Just trying to help. So yeah, very good questions there. All right. Just because I want to keep us on time. And so 12 directs. So 12 pieces of direct mail sent annually to your targeted haven't met group. All right. The questions I did on this is what should I send? All right. The answer on this one is it depends on who you're targeting. If it's a neighborhood, my personal preference is every other month you alternate something about the community and information that's generalized that could help them. Now, if it's a small community, you could do info about the Colorado. Let's just say you're in Colorado. You could do the ski slopes opening. You could do the closest farmers market to them. All these cutesy things. There's tons of this stuff on Google. Then the next month, I would do something about real estate, sales in the neighborhood, market action, where the mortgage rates are at. Something that goes, oh, thanks for the info. Oh yeah, and Brendan's also a really high-powered real estate professional. Never am I going, I want your referrals. I love you. Send me stuff. Cutesy. I don't. I'm not saying that's not the right way. I know people that have success and then they go, well, Brendan, if you don't ask, they don't do it. Sure. Right? Great. In addition to this, the only way that direct mail works is I call it passive marketing followed up with aggressive marketing. So passive is the mailer. Then I'm going to go to my mailing list and either use truepeoplesearch.com, Mojo Dialer, or if you want to pay the extra money, use a company like Nexus, Lexus, or someone else to run data searches to get me the phone numbers and email addresses of every single person in that community. Then I'm going to start calling that neighborhood over time and saying, oh my gosh, hey, this is Brendan with XYZ company. We just sold the property, or a property just sold at 123 Elm Street. You've probably been getting a lot of my mailers. Oh yeah, Brendan, I get all those. Thanks you. That community information is really helpful. Oh, I'm glad you love it, John. That's great. Hey, I have another buyer that missed out on that opportunity. So I'm calling all the neighbors to see if you or anyone you know might be interested in selling. Oh yeah, no, Brendan, we really love it here. We're probably good for a while. Well, if you guys were to move and it was the perfect situation, where would you go next? Oh, well, you know, we're trying to get pregnant now. If Susie gets pregnant and we have the kid, we're going to need another bedroom. So we're probably 1.5 to 2 years out. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. Well, where would you go? Blah, 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 blah. Conversation goes on and on and on and on. Okay. So we do a really good, that's just called a just sold script. That's in our script book at brendanbartic.com. If there's one script you should master above all else, the just sold script. It's made me a fortune. Okay. All right, let's talk about the money on the haven't met. So just to summarize this, you see the slide. If you were only doing haven't mets and no mets, you would need 8,000 haven't mets to close 160 closed sales. 8,000 at $1 per piece. And again, I know that's extremely expensive, and I can tell you how to get 19 cents a piece and join us for our EPS series, and we'll tell you how to make all this stuff cheaper. But let's just say for $1 a piece to be safe, it would cost you $96,000 per year. Okay, to do that mailing system. Now, let's talk about internet leads real quick for a moment. Would you rather spend $533,000 or $64,000 to do 160 closed sales? So let me break you through the internet lead cost. So average cost of an internet lead is $200. And that's probably low right now. Now, some of you are going, I'm getting leads on Facebook for $1.50. That's not a lead. That's called a joke. Right? That's called good luck. And you're going to need 10,000 of those for every one sale, right? So the 6% goes out the window when you're talking $1.50 Facebook leads, because that's not a lead. A lead that's in their underwear at 4 a.m. going, what's my home worth on Facebook is not a lead. It's somebody that you can put in your haven't met database, absolutely, but don't quantify that as a lead. A true lead is somebody that's looking to buy or sell real estate, okay, in the next 90 days. That's how I quantify a lead. So let's say for someone like that, it's about $200 on average. And again, people are listening right now. They're like, Brendan, I get mine cheaper than that. Cool, good for you. Rock it out. Then you're awesome, right? But this is just what we know from across the board. So every 100 internet leads, you're going to get 6 closed sales. So you would need 2,666 leads at a 6% conversion level to close 160 deals. 2,666 leads times $200. $533,000, where your combined met and haven't met database, because again, we're going to split the haven't met in half because we want the combination of both. Remember, 8,000 is if you're not doing a Met database. You want the combination of the both. You want 500 or 450-ish Mets, and you want 4,000 haven't Mets to close 160 closed sales. That's the best combination, and I'll explain here in a second. Okay, well, with this beautiful slide. so 4,000 haven't Mets and 500 Mets. So when you're looking at that, it's going to cost you $64,000 a year to do that investment versus 500,000 some odd dollars in internet leads. This is why it's such a powerful investment. Now, again, some of you are going 64 grand. Oh my gosh, I got 64 cents right now. Again, this is a 5-year plan. I can make you a net millionaire. Anyone on this call, unless you're just a jerk, right? A net millionaire in 5 years doing this plan. And here's the reason, and here's how. Every year, you're going to add 2 Mets a week, or every year. Every week, you're going to add 2 Mets. That's your target goal. So think about it. You're going to be adding about 100-ish Mets a year to your database. In 5 years, you would have 500. Okay? Now, are we going to have to add the haven't Mets as well? Yes. We need to be adding around 800-ish haven't Mets every year to get to that number as well. 850, I know that exact, to get to that number as well. So think about it. 100 Mets, 850 haven't Mets every year should be my goal. In 5 years, I'll be netting $1 million. Not making, netting after all costs, sales, everything involved. Do it and then come back to me and be like, Brendan, high five, you were right. Everyone, I've tested this 1,000 times over. It 100%, it works. It works. Here's the find that I find. Well, Brendan, I'm doing all this, but I'm just not getting the response. How's the 4 phone calls once every quarter going? Oh yeah, I just don't do that. I don't feel comfortable making the phone call. Well, then it's not a 33 touch. Then you're not doing the system. Well, Brendan, the 5 personal touches, I modified that and I'm sending out boomerang cards so people can get a blooming onion from Outback Steakhouse. That's not a personal touch. That's a blooming onion boomerang card. That's very different. So this only works when you run the full play. You have to run the full play. So offer value. So when we're talking about how to get this on best practices, offer value in everything that you're doing. Don't ask people for business. But Brendan, my managing broker told me I should always ask for the referrals in the business. Yes, you do in a different way, not in direct mail to people that don't barely know you and also people that you just met. I don't meet a girl and I go, hey, you want to make out as soon as I meet her? No. I might be thinking it, not anymore because I'm married, but I might be thinking it, but I'm not going to just be like, hey, want to make out? That strategy may work 1 out of 10 times. It might actually, it depends on how much people have been drinking and all that. It could work, but no, I'm going to, let's hold hands. Let's go to the movies. Let's hear some flowers. I'm going to do these things before asking for the makeout session. And I love a makeout session, right? So little tip, let's just let you guys know, I love making out. This really got weird. But anyway, invest 10% gross income to your outbound marketing. For every check you make, take 10% of it and dedicate it towards your marketing. So if you make $10,000 on a check, 10% goes to your marketing budget. It's the easiest way to start building this. What I find a lot with agents is you're not spending enough. You make the money and it's been 4 months that you had a sale and you're already backed up on all your credit cards and then there's nothing left because you're living outside of where you probably need to be versus what your income is. Every millionaire I know lives on 70 cents, if not 50 cents of every dollar they make or less. So you got to think about how you're going to do that early on. Then you'll get stupid rich and you can do whatever you want, right? So 4 laws of lead generation: build your database, add 2 Mets every week, communicate systematically, and every lead gets serviced, or what I call processed and nurtured 100%. Again, your goal is to go deeper, not wider. If I'm taking care of everyone, I'm nailing all 33 touches, you're going to get a stupid amount of business, guaranteed, okay? How do I track all this? Well, we have you covered. Anna will put our Mets and haven't met tracking form for you here in the chat box. So this is the form that we use to track all this. So again, when I'm looking at it, if I want to make $100,000, I need to have 40 Mets and 400 haven't Mets. So down here in this little bottom of the bucket, I'm going to put my goals depending upon where I'm at. And I want to keep moving up and leveling up over time. So if my goal is, first of all, to get to 250 grand in net GCI, or excuse me, net revenue, gosh, can't even speak right, net profit, there you go, Brendan. Then I'm going to want down here to have the number 40. And then over here, I'm going to want to have 125 if I want to make 250 and 1,000. And I laminate this sheet. And every day that I add a Met, I take my finger, non-COVID, lick it, out, rub the other little number on there and put where I'm at now. And all I'm trying to do is get to 125. But I don't get to put them on this sheet or in this bucket if they're not truly on the 33 touch. So if you need to take a week to build your 33 touch, stop everything and build the 33 touch. Stop everything until you have this. Again, Abraham Lincoln, my favorite quote, right? If I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 6 hours sharpening my axe. You got to sharpen the axe first. Some of you are out there with a baseball bat trying to chop down a tree. You got to get the axe sharp. This is your axe. Just make sure you're clear on that. And it's a pain in the wazoo to get set up. I'm not going to tell you it's an easy breezy. You want to make $1 million, it should be a little bit difficult. Okay? So make sure you're using visual scoreboards. And you can see behind us that we also have marbles. I got to move one marbles from the other, right? I have 26 in there now for a different company where I'm trying to add my own Mets. Any business that you're doing, everything is also related to it. Every business comes back to Mets and haven't Mets. Okay? So you decide how many Mets and haven't Mets you need, right? And then again, action changes things. So education without implementation is stupidity. So you just took this entire course. Don't get overwhelmed with it. Just start thinking about what would be my first step. So put in the chat box, what is the first thing you're going to do? Is it, I'm going to identify the CRM? Is it, I'm going to figure out how many real Mets that I would even qualify? First, you got to identify the list, right? How many people in my Excel spreadsheet would I really quantify as a Met? All right, I've got 36, okay? Here's the thing I want you to all remember too. Another little just tip here. If you have a CRM, don't take and upload a ton of people into it. If anything, I would blow up your system today, start from zero, export everybody out, and enter them in one by one. So every day you're going to try to put in, if you have, let's say 50, 2 or 3 a day, but you're really going to do the full process. You're going to put them in, put them on the market report, make sure that you have them tagged for the mailer. You're going to make sure that you know 5 personal touches, or at least I know their birthday because I looked it up on Facebook, and then I've got 4 other note cards that I'm going to schedule as tasks in my CRM. And then I'm going to call them today and just say, I love you. Hi, I have a dumpster property. Would you like to be part of my giveaway? If you're not doing a giveaway, I'd like to feature you for a business. I'd like to have you go to lunch with you. Whatever it is, that phone call today, now you've just earned the right to have one true Met. And you should be elated. That should be the biggest, be like confetti goes, and you're like, I got my first Met. That's what you should be doing instead of going, I've got 642 people. Well, all I have to do is add 33 touches to this and I'm going to be a millionaire. It will never happen. It will never happen because every single person is an individual and you want to be doing notes. You want to put as, again, data and personalization, go deeper, not wider. Deeper, not wider. So that, my friends, is what we're talking about here. So did I stop the share? I hope so. All right, so we'll stick around for just a few minutes to answer questions. Anna, did you get Tommy's questions? I wanted to make sure I answered those. I emailed those to you today. It was in an email. He had asked them prior to the episode, and yep. I said we would definitely address them. So let's start with Tommy's questions. And you guys can always, if you see an upcoming webinar, info at brendanbartic.com. We would love your questions in advance. That was super helpful. But yeah, what's the question?
Yeah, great. Let me go ahead and pull that up. In the meantime, we did have a question earlier on. Let's just go back to the budgeting aspect of this marketing program. So it's 10% of my gross income, and it really depends on how many Mets and haven't Mets I have, right? It's not just a lot, $1,000 to my marketing program. Can you just dive into that one more time for us?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what we were saying is that a simple rule of thumb is if you close a commission check that you should take 10% and put it into a bucket for marketing. Now, it doesn't mean to what Anna just said that you need to spend all 10% that day. Doesn't mean that you need to spend any of it necessarily. But, well, yes, let me take that back. You do need to spend it. But again, it would depend on how many Mets and haven't Mets you need to spend it on at that time. So if I was having my first closing, I would take $1,000 if I made $10,000. And I would reinvest that into making sure my Met program for the next 12 months is ready to rock and roll. So I know if I'm doing 12 direct mail, that I'm going to do 1 month quirky, 1 month informational, 1 month quirky, 1 month informational. And Anna, if we could share our March mailer, I think we talked about doing that. So for March, we love St. Patrick's Day. We send out to everyone in our Met database a scratch ticket that says, well, you'll see the card here, something about gold or something like that. Our clients are gold to us. I hope you win or something. I've had people win $5. I've had people win $100. I've had people win $500. They love the fact that you're just thinking about them, giving them a chance to win something, and it's $1 for the darn scratch ticket, right? So did you want to share it, or how did you want to?
Yeah, I can absolutely share my screen. So here we are.
There we go. Yeah, I'm so very lucky to have clients like you. And then this is in an envelope, or this is an envelope. Go to the second image, please. It's right at the top.
This is the front of the card. This is the inside of the card.
We can't see the inside. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
So just click on the JPEG second image at the top there.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Oh, no, it didn't do it. Anyway, we'll put it as an attachment in there. Sorry. So there's nothing rocket science here. It's just cute and fun. Now, the next month, we'll send something informational that's real estate-ish related. And I'm sorry, I cut somebody off that had a question.
Yeah, I had a question. That's what I was going to ask you was, you know, for our Mets database, do we want to continue sending like fun and fun mail, or we want to switch it up and add some informational on our Mets?
Yep. So again, great question. So 1 month quirky, 1 month informational. And by quirky, I mean, this could be drop-bys, this could be fun, this could be all about them. And then the other month, something real estate-ish related, something real estate information that you think would be of value to them. What else? Did you get the email I was talking about from Tommy?
Yeah, so the questions are, how far can you drill down? For instance, can you target people known to be interested in new construction?
How far can I target people that I know are going to be interested in new construction? So if I'm understanding that question correctly, the answer is yes. If that would be my targeted group, if I'm trying to drill down and market to people that are just interested in new construction homes, well, then I would set up a stealth site that was all when I mean stealth site, a site that's dedicated just to new construction properties, or I'd have a page on my website dedicated to it. Then I would spend money marketing on the pay-per-click on that specific group of saying new construction. So when somebody went to Google, they would be like looking for new construction in Aurora. Well, that would take them to my website. That's I call it stealth site. That's still part of my website, but it's dedicated all to new construction properties. They get to look at a few properties. A pop-up thing says, it's called forced registration. We're glad that you're finding our website so informational. If you'd like more information or continue seeing all the properties, please put your information in. They put their information in. Now that's become a lead, or a haven't met, at least person that's interested. I would then call them, find out what their real scenario is, and then try to eventually over time use my haven't met marketing to market to that specific group, where every month maybe I'm sending the latest new construction developments, what's hot and new with new construction. Then once they raise their hand and say, I'm interested, move them over into my Met and do my 8x8 and then 33 touch for life system. Awesome. That was a lot, but that was a very interesting question. So I just wanted to make sure I kind of covered how I would target it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the follow-up question to that is, how do you get additional information like cell phone numbers, email addresses on prospects so that you can have a coordinated, multifaceted program?
Yep, great question. So truepeoplesearch.com is the free version. You can do whitepages.com, 411.com. There's a number of different algorithms. You can also go to sites that True People Search even has a more in-depth one where you pay $1 to get more in-depth contact info. You can get birth dates. You can almost get anything that you want. So that's the free version. If you're using a dialer like Mojo, Vulcan 7, the Red X, you can actually do a bulk import of a neighborhood in there, and they'll use their algorithm to run and try to find every phone number that they possibly can and or email address. And if you want to go up to the next level, then you go to a Nexus Lexus program, which is what they use for finding people that are, you know, skipping out on bail, how they know how to deliver papers to people that are getting divorced. You have to go through a background check. There's a lot of legal things you have to be careful on there, on how you use that data. So use that one, and it's about $1,500 a month, so it's not cheap.
Okay, awesome. Well, I don't.
Oh. Do we have time for one more question? Or
yeah, I had some people raising their hands. Please, absolutely. What's up, Leon?
So with mailers, have you had success with like a certain type, like a flyer in, a letter envelope, so it looks like a letter and then open it, or like a nice fancy postcard? What have you
Great
found the
question.
most success in?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, let's talk about the two groups, right? So Mets, if there's people, again, I have 40, 50, 500 Mets, whatever it is, the nicer, the better, right? And the more customized, the better. Handwritten is way better than, of course, printed, all of these things. Now on the Habit Net, what we're doing is we're trying to automate as much as possible, because when you have 4,000, you're not going to be doing 4,000 handwritten addresses, okay? And it's a great question. So what we found out for the Haven't Met is colors matter. So you even varying the envelope color, they found that silver and gold envelopes, they're a little bit more expensive, have I think 65% higher open rate than a white manila envelope. So something as simple as that, of just making sure all of your envelopes, or you vary in there a silver envelope, a gold envelope. You could do a hot pink envelope. Remember, it's to gain attention for something to stand out. Now, if you're just doing postcards, again, I'm trying to, on my Habit Mets, I want to provide information and value, information and value. So I have 4 seconds to give them the information, see my, shiny head before they throw it in the trash for that so long. So am I providing information, or is it something that they might keep and stick on their refrigerator or keep on the desk for a second because they go, oh my gosh, I can't believe that 123 Elm Street sold for 600,000 over, or 100,000 over asking, 600,000 over asking would be great. $100,000 over asking price. I need to tell my husband or my wife about this, right? So I got it.
Thank you.
So that's the variance. Now, also on the Haven't Met mailer, we didn't talk about this, but for you guys that are sticking around for the pro tips, check out EDDM, every door delivery method. This is offered by the United States Postal Service, and this is where you can get your mailers knocked down to 19 cents a piece. Okay, now there's videos on it. Just go to Google and put in EDDM. You might get some electronic music stuff, but EDDM, not EDM. I don't know what that is. Anyway, but there's tons of people that will explain it in full-length videos on there that are doing it at extremely high levels, where you're batch mailing to people for 19 cents a mailer, and they have specific requirements on how big the postcard can be to make sure it's part of the batch mailing program. So yes, great question. Stand out, and then on your personal stuff, on the Mets, try to go as personal as possible. Handwritten, wax seal, higher end paper, quality, and make sure those people go, wow, he or she is amazing. If they're this great, if they're this cool, think about what they could do when they sell our house. That's what you're trying to get. What else? Any last questions there?
If you want to jump into the chat box, Brendan, I'm having a hard time pulling up. I apologize.
Oh, no
I think there was a couple more in there.
Yeah, so what are cheaper resources for mailing postcards? Boom, D, EDDM. That is by far the best way to do it. So we nailed that one. I have to leave. Thank you so much for your teaching. My pleasure. Will you send me the link to catch the end, please? Yes, we'll send out the replay to everyone so you have that. Takeaway focus, identify Mets and tags. Excellent. Schedule time. Find my 8 and 33 touches and work on Mets. So perfect. Everybody's going to start working on that. I think that's everything. Are these just a flyer sent in a letter envelope or more fancy postcards? That was your question. We nailed it. Thanks to Alani. Yeah, I think we covered everything. So yeah, if you guys have any more interest, of course, join us for role play, 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and Price Like a Pro at 12:30, where you can figure out all the things you need to know about how to do an amazing listing presentation, net sheets, pricing, free, live, every single week, 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And if you're wanting to take this whole thing to the next level and really amp it up, go to brendanbartic.com or reach out to Anna. Join us for our Elite Progression series, where we take you through and show you the exact ins and outs of how to do this. We also offer one-on-one coaching. We have modules that'll help you get through all this stuff. We're here to help take this business to the next level with smart, strategic, tactical information that you can leave with and use today. Hopefully we delivered on that. If you have any comments or feedback, please let me and Anna know. We always want to be able to bring more value to all of you. And all I can say is thank you for joining us.